barakatuh. Welcome to our audience that is viewing from home during this lockdown. My name is Kashmir Miriam, and this is my sister Aisha. Aisha, would you like to introduce yourself and what we do as the Strangers organization?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, Bismillahi wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. My name is Aisha, and I am part of an organization called The Strangers, and our goal is to revive the message of Islam, and we do this through different means. One of the means is through spoken word poetry, through the collective voice of Muslim poets around the world, and just being able to clear up misconceptions. So that's our main goal. Yes, Kashmir.
Yeah, excellent. Jazakallah khair. So the work that we do as The Strangers is we host a lot of poetry slams. A lot of the time they're, in person. And so we have our poets go up on stage, they compete for trophies and prizes, and we just have a good time. It's basically to platform the Muslim voice so that we can portray the true message of Islam through the art of spoken word poetry. So it's a creative art. It's something that is powerful and empowering. And that's what we wanted to do for you today. So we have a great show lined up for you all. We hope that you enjoy watching. And I just wanted to clarify a few things that are a little bit different about slam poetry versus written poetry or any other type of poetry, Shakespeare, whatever type of poetry you are into. So the difference between slam poetry is that it is about the content of the poem. So how deep is the lyrical content? How relevant is it to the audience? How powerful is the methods that are used to articulate what is being said in the poem? And second of all, the powerful thing about slam poetry, and probably one of the more important traits of slam poetry, is that it is heavily about the way in which the message is revealed to the audience. So it's not just about reading from a sheet of paper, it's about how that message is delivered. So that's something that we put a lot of emphasis on as The Strangers, and we do with all of our poets as well. So inshallah, today you'll be hearing some slam poetry, and I hope that you enjoy the show and all of the poets that we have lined up. There are 3 simple rules that we have for the poets. That is, number 1, the content has to be appropriate, so no curse words. There is no inappropriate content, and our poets do understand that. The second rule is that we have to make sure that the poem is under 5 minutes, and that is just purely so that we can accommodate the number of poets that we have, which alhamdulillah is much more than we expected. And number 3 is just to be respectful of everyone that is up there performing. Everyone is sharing something that is meaningful to them, and that's something very personal, and we have to respect that because that's very sanctified. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce our judge for this evening. Her name is Tahani Salah. Is Tahani there?
I'm here.
Assalamu alaikum, Tahani. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, we're doing good.
Perfect. So I have, Tahani, your bio here. I'm just going to read it, and hopefully that will explain to everyone your background in poetry. Personally, I know Tahani from before. She's a slam poet, so she knows a thing or two, or more than a thing or two, about performance, and that's one of the reasons we chose to have her on our platform today. And that's something that means a lot to us, because I think to be a writer is one thing, but to be a performer is something else. So Jazakallah for joining us today. So Tahani Salah is an educator, poet, and activist based in Brooklyn, New York, with a bloodline to Palestine. She's a graduate of Columbia University, a former professor of curriculum development at the Cooney Graduate Center. She's also a member of the New York Slam team. She competed internationally and holds many slam titles from Europe to Africa. Tahani has also been featured on HBO's Deaf Poetry Jams. She is passionate about peace and activism and carries that into the classroom as an educator, showing how life creates art and using it all as a tool of expression. As an artist dedicated to bringing light and solutions to communities where people's voices have been silenced, Tahani has performed at a number of world-famous stages, including the Apollo Theatre in New York City, to universities in the US, South Africa, Germany, Canada, Palestine, Jordan, and many more. MashaAllah. Okay, so Tahani, you told me to pick 1 or 2 lines from your bio, but I felt like everyone needed to hear that. So welcome. And you have a very heavy obligation, or should I say duty today. And we hope that, first and foremost, you enjoy listening to all the content. I know that you will be someone who appreciates lyrical content and performance. So yes, do you have any questions?
No, I just want everyone to have pure intentions of why they're doing this, and inshallah, by the will of Allah, everyone will have a good time and take us out of the situation that we're stuck in, literally. So, get us to a place where we are sharing a very positive platform, inshallah.
Thank you so much, Jazakallah, for sharing that. And I agree with you. I think it comes down to intention. And, with that being said, we did have prizes. As you can see in the back, we have first, second, and third trophies. And then we have some and we have some medals over here as well. Because, but, this is not about the competition. It's not about who wins. And I think that's the most important thing. It's about sharing your message to the world and having the correct intention for doing that, especially in these times, like you mentioned, where people need to hear something positive. So without any further ado, I would like to bring on our first performer for this evening. So now I'm actually going to switch over to my co-MC, Aisha, who is actually my blood sister as well. So Aisha, I'm going to switch over to you, and you're going to start introducing the first half of the poets. And passing it straight on to you.
Jazakallah khair. So the first half of the poets are actually international poets, meaning because we opened up the stream, the pool of poets who submitted their poetry were much more diverse. The content was extremely heavy. It was very difficult to make certain choices. So the first set of poets, actually, like I said, international poets. We have people, they're going to tell you themselves, but we have people from all over the world. We have people from Sri Lanka. We have people from London, England, our hometown, mine and my sister Kashmir's, before we moved to New York. And we have people from so many other amazing places. So without further ado, we'll introduce the first person who's going to tell you a little bit more about themselves. And the first person is Sister Sharika. So please speak.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Sharika Hafiz from Sri Lanka. For those of you who don't know, Sri Lanka is this really tiny island shaped like a teardrop falling off the southern end of India. I've been writing poetry since I was really young. When I was a little girl, I used to write about things that were closest to me, like home, nostalgia, and growing up. But then as I got older, I realized that I wanted to address issues that were in a global scale, things that people don't usually talk about, the problems of the world. And the piece that I would like to present today at this slam is relevant to what we are going through right now, all of us, the lockdowns and the fear that is going through all of us. So I hope this would serve as a reminder to us all to what, at a moment like this, what kind of things the people we should give priorities to, the people without whom the society wouldn't be running. So yeah, can I start?
Yes, please start.
What we must remember. What we must remember in a few years from now is how our unskilled workers kept society functioning when our sincere politicians had nothing to offer but empty promises and colorful words. What we must remember is how our doctors and nurses kept society functioning. They were the fighters at the forefront of it all. How our cashiers and janitors and package handlers were what kept us from falling apart as a society confined to the walls of our houses. What we must remember is how we people, ordinary and unremarkable, came together from across the world to share in the grief that had gripped us. and how we sang in our balconies, dancing to the beautiful chaos of pianos and flutes of our amateur neighbors. What we must remember is how our leaders had been playing us all along when they told us, when they convinced us that universal healthcare was an impossibility, how online classes or jobs were ineffective or impractical, even if you were differently abled. Remember, remember you're being lied to if the world tries to go back to what it was, with convincing excuses that we now know are no excuses at all. Jazakallah khair. I hope you enjoyed that.
Jazakallah khair, sister. Beautiful, beautiful reminder. Kashmir?
Mashallah, mashallah.
Yes, that was phenomenal. Jazakallah khair for sharing. And I like the fact that your poem is so relevant to everything that is happening right now, because I don't think that a lot of people appreciate what it's like to be on the front lines, especially, unless they are themselves in the healthcare field and they have worked as a nurse or a doctor or in any healthcare profession there. I think that it's amazing that you highlighted that. So Jazakallah khair. And how long have you been writing, sister?
I think since when I was 11 years old, I used to write short stories and anything before that, but poetry was, yeah, when I was 11 years old.
Yeah, well, we are so happy that you
Sister.
joined us all the way from Sri Lanka.
Yes, alhamdulillah. And also, sister, I heard some clicking in the background. Was I hearing things, or was someone actually clicking?
No, that was not.
Just for our audience, just to let you know, in slam poetry, if someone really, really is enjoying a piece, they don't normally clap their hands so much because then it can distract the performer. They click. So if you're enjoying it, even if you're at home, don't forget to click. That's why I was like, nice.
Okay, sure.
I was going to, and I was like, I'm not sure if this is the platform for it. Let me ease back. Let me see if someone starts.
This is the platform for it, sister. Go for it, please. Okay, so we're going to introduce our next poet, who is also from Sri Lanka, and her name is Hala Marikar. I hope I pronounced your name properly. I'm sorry if I didn't. So please welcome Sister Hala, and please introduce yourself, sister. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Right. So I'm Hala Marikar and I'm 19 years old. I'm from Sri Lanka as well. Sharika already introduced Sri Lanka to you guys, so I don't think I have to give any further introduction on that front. So I'm also a published poet, and I published my debut volume of poetry last year. It's titled 1,000 Paper Cranes, and what I'm going to read today is actually from my book, but with a few modifications, inshallah. So may I start?
Please do. Please do. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, by the way. I'll tell you guys why afterwards, inshallah, but the field is yours.
Jazakallah khair. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Rabbi zidni ilma. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again. Stories. Do you remember a little boy washed up on the shores of a sea who promised him a better home than his own? Alan Kurdi was his name. Speak it. Do you remember a little boy sitting still atop an orange chair, bleeding from his forehead, tears leaving solitary tracks on a dust-covered face, eyes haunted? Omran Daknish is his name. Speak it. Their Syria. Tell their story. Do you remember a medic as she nursed her patients back to health with the help of the Lord? Do you remember how she tried to take the wounded to safety and ended up wrapped in her country's flag for a burial shroud, her medic's jacket blood-stained and riddled with bullet holes? Razan Najjar is her name. Speak it. Do you remember a little girl? She is Palestine. Tell her story. Do you remember a little girl who wore new earrings and a toothless smile before the dawn of Eid because she knew not if she'd be alive to celebrate it? What she ate was the leaves off of trees, and in the end it was hunger that killed her, not an airstrike. She's Yemen. Tell her story. Do you know of a girl who should have been a sister of 17 who nurses a child she bore from those who tore her from her home, her life, her right, her honor? Did you know? Her name is the Rohingya. Say it. Do you know the story of a girl in a hijab who sits in the darkness of a room strapped to a chair, cut up like a guinea pig, organs harvested, and dimly she wonders about the Great Wall of China built upon the bodies of thousands of men forgotten? She is Uyghur, she is China, she is Muslim, she is all three, she has every right to be. Know that. Do you hear all their stories? That is all that is left of them, because their names have been forgotten, replaced, or never given. Do you read all the diaries that are written in paper and ink, in blood and tears? Do you remember all the people killed in these holocausts up to 2020? Alan Kurdi, Omran Daknish, Razan Najjar, 1,000 stories, 1,000,000 deaths, 1,000,000,000 losses. How many to mourn them? So don't tell me you are honoring the memory of a 12-year-old girl whose tragedy was immortalized in the pages of her diary. Don't tell me of the horror she underwent at the hands of the Nazi. Don't tell me you are honoring her memory when you are ignoring what she stood for. Don't tell me her story is from the 1940s, because if you listen hard enough, it is alive even more so in 2020. Jazakumullah khair.
Wow. Allahumma barik. That was amazing. And I had no doubt that it wouldn't be. The first two poets are definitely setting a standard here, right? Kashmir, Tahani, what do you think?
MashaAllah, very much so, very much so.
Alhamdulillah.
Very powerful. Jazakallah khair. And sister, I just love the fact that you mentioned so many of the crises that are going on that a lot of people overlook. For example, what's going on with the Uyghur Muslims, what is going on with the Rohingya Muslims. People forget that these people are actually still going through the difficulties and hardships that we heard about only once in the media. So Jazakallah khair for mentioning that. And may Allah continue to empower you through your words. And it was a pleasure listening to you.
Ameen wa iyaki.
Ameen. Ameen. Wa iyaki. Assalamu alaikum. So the next poet, inshallah, who is up is actually from England, and his name is Annotate. That's his poetry name, but he's going to introduce himself however he sees fit, inshallah. So please welcome Brother Annotate to the stage. I guess you can call this a stage, right? And the stage is yours, brother. Introduce yourself and go for it.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, poet from the UK. I've been doing this performance poet thing for a few years now. I do with a collective called the Flow Poet Collective as well, run by Natalie Stewart, who is very well known. Also known as the Flow Assist with Flowetry, the group. Work with her. So yeah, performed in some big destinations in the UK. But this poem is called Life is Short. I can't see or hear anybody, so hopefully everyone can hear me and whatnot. Life is short. Life is short. So concern yourself with every detail like pedantic parents nitpicking in the early 2000s. It's astounding how easily we are misled by media myths like ignorance is bliss. But me, I'm more Aerosmith. With all that's at stake, I wouldn't want to miss a thing. Gluttony. They say don't get too caught up like a catcher's mitt, but we only get one shot at this like it's 1917, so I intend to make the most of it. You see, no one said it would be easy, but I'm just trying to give you some free pointers like Stephen Curry. The ball's in your court, so don't lose your drive in the trenches and have your headspace jam when your ambition's bagged by those monsters. You have to trust him, even when life's grim. We're all battling demons and pleading for an end that sees us ascend through Earth's ceiling. So just turn and beseech him while firmly seeking the means to leave this world beaming. Because provided you believe it, you have everything you need to make ceasing as appealing as fruit eaten in the Garden of Eden. I'm just saying, it's time we all prepare for that meeting with the one who gave life to everything that we see here. So like child adoption, it's advised you foster healthy relationships and keep good companionship tight-knit like a seamstress. So when you seem stressed, support's only a phone call away like a helpline request. We all need that friend that'll help us de-stress when we've had our buttons pressed, because let's face it, Most friends are only around when it suits them. The type to dress you down when you need help tying up loose ends and require the sort of attention that only exists in real friendships. The reality is, life will put you in front of more punches than Mike Tyson, but it's in your genes to succeed in this ring like John Cena. All you have to do is stand in front of one round like an ultrasound and believe in yourself. We all make mistakes, but you gotta keep it under wraps like a niqabi and hide your sins like you would your pin withdrawing at a cash machine. You don't want to risk enduring the type of heat that will have you begging for water breaks like a mother to be. There are no do-overs. So don't live too close to the edge and end up having your expectations subverted like Josh Brolin in No Country for Old Men. This life is a test. If you want everything you've worked for amount into something, I suggest you don't ever rest on your morals and end up a legend of sorrow when your time's up. You better be prepared to get your priorities straight like a party pooper if you're seeking bliss in your eternal hub. They say you only live once. He says, comfort and everything you desire awaits in a perpetual abode after death if you live for his love. So tell me, is this place really worth all the fuss? Life is short, annotate. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khair, brother.
Wait. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. It's an absolute honor to have you all the way from England, alhamdulillah, and definitely take you home there. Kashmir.
Yeah, it was very refreshing to hear a British accent. So thank you for sharing. Which part of the UK are you from?
I'm from London.
Which part of London?
South London. I grew up in South London.
Oh, excellent. We actually have family there in Croydon. So that's nice
oh,
to hear.
that's where I grew up.
Yeah, mashallah. Okay, brothers, so we have a quick question. What inspired you to write that poem?
To be honest with you, I've been thinking about it over the time that we've been in this lockdown situation. And I thought about writing something a bit new and different to my previous content. I felt like I needed to come back to writing something a bit more in tone with my faith. And I wanted to give people and myself, most of what I write, in fact, all of what I write is a reminder to myself first and foremost. So when I wrote this poem, I wanted to remind myself of what I'm living for. And I was hoping that in writing it for myself, it would be beneficial to other people that hear it as well, inshallah.
Yeah, definitely. May Allah reward you for that. And brothers, people want to check out more of your work. Where could they go to? Do you have any social media? Please share that with our viewers.
Yeah, Instagram's my main place. Annotate _ you'll find me on there. Or alternatively, if you want to check out some of my material, then I'm on YouTube. Just type in Annotate and you should be able to find me, inshallah.
Okay, perfect. Jazakallah khair and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, brother. And the next person who is going to be going up is, inshallah, Sister Nasira. Sister Nasira, you here? Please, could you introduce yourself? Jazakallah khair. Wait, we can't hear you. For some reason, there's no noise right now. Maybe there's something wrong with the audio. Kashmir, can you hear her? Can you hear Sister?
I cannot hear you, sister. Are you able to just say the first line of your poem? No? Okay, how about if she tries to log out and then log back in? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Jazakallah khair, sister. Jazakallah khair. We apologize about any technical issues that we may be having. Definitely online has its perks and then it also has its downfalls as well due to connectivity issues. Inshallah, we will be able to stay connected in a deeper way through the connection through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think that was pretty poetic, right, Kashmir?
Yeah, that was a good line. Thank you,
By the way, guys, inshallah, guys and girls, sisters and brothers, we actually have a surprise for all of you in the end when Sister Tahani is going to be just compiling and just putting together all of the results of the poets, deciding who the winner is. We're going to let you know what that surprise is, inshallah. So please, please, please do wait till the end. Be patient with us. And inshallah, God willing, you will not be disappointed. Okay, so Sister Nasira, is she back in? Sarah? Okay, that's, yeah, sister. Inshallah, it's gonna work now.
Our sister Nasira is sorting out her audio and video. How is judging going for you, Tahani?
Sister, you're on mute.
It's so far so good, but subhanallah, mashallah, it's very difficult to get a lot of talent here. You guys did a great job recruiting some really great wordsmiths. So
yeah, subhanallah, yeah, I like that too. I think that, you know, subhanallah, it all happened by the permission of Allah. We really didn't do anything. We just put the message out there, and all of this talent, subhanallah, came. And we're just happy. And I think part of it is because we opened our platform worldwide. So we have people from all the way from Sri Lanka, from the UK. And I think that adds to the experience, because people have different ways of thinking and articulating. So so it's just, I think that's what contributed.
Yeah, of course. And not just that, but subhanallah, we also have someone from Jakarta, subhanallah. So that's like, I believe that's like an 11 hours difference. When I heard where some of these people were from, I was literally mind blown, because most of the competitions and the events that we've done as the Poetry Slam at ICNA, it's always Americans, it's always national. So to hear like words from people from different places, and they're all Muslim, and I'm not sure, I think one of them is non-Muslim actually, who's going to be performing, God willing, but the message was extremely powerful as well. I think it's the brother from Jakarta. Forgive me if I'm wrong, I could be saying something very wrong right now. Apologies, but because he might be Muslim. But anyway, the point is, I definitely opened up the pool, and it was, like I said, very difficult to choose who, you know, to compete in this poetry slam, because we had so many submissions. Alhamdulillah, it's a good thing. Okay, so Sister Nasira, let us know when you're ready.
Okay, so I think Sister Nasira might still be experiencing some issues, so we will go to our next poet, and we'll come back to Sister Nasira once she's in, inshallah. Yes, I think the next poet is Dean Rhymes and Life.
Yes. Oh, Sister Amira. Assalamu alaikum. No, it's Dean Slimer, and then Sister Amira can go after, inshallah. If Sister Nasira is still having issues with the camera. Is brother here? Okay, that's fine, inshallah. So we'll have Sister Amira go up.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi barakatuh, sister. Please introduce yourself and go for it.
Okay, my name's Amira. I'm a high school student in Fredericksburg, Virginia. The poem I'm going to perform today is about hypocrisy in Islamophobia, particularly in the United States, but everywhere. Okay. Dungun camel jockey, towel head terrorist, too many names to list. Go back to where you came from, get out of our country. Well, guess what? I was born here, miss. Sorry for San Bernardino, for Orlando, for Boston, for the KKK. Oh, yeah, that wasn't us. No. They're just white Christian men. They're just mentally ill and can be forgiven. But if they were brown, black, or yellow, we'd be apologizing for things we never did. Yell and scream about the Middle East forcing religion on oppressed girls and women. But you'll send out flyers calling to kill all Muslims because we won't undress to fit your American vision. Okay, hypocrites. Build a wall to keep out these immigrants, strengthen border security, keep out these dangerous refugees. You'll protect them in the womb, but not when bombs are being dropped on their dads and moms and schools and homes. Then where is your humanity when you can watch a video of a child dying and use the excuse that it was their fault for trying? How did you forget that God loves all his children when you're always paraphrasing the book in which it was written? Discriminate against Muslim women and our veils, the same veil that Virgin Mary wore? And it's okay when nuns wear it, right? But hey, I'm not here to hate you. I can't resent you or hate you because the very same religion that you call distasteful has taught me that it is wrong to do so. And so I'll leave you with the customary greeting. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Wa alaikum assalam, and upon you be peace. So the next time you see a Muslim, say salam. We don't bite or bomb, I promise. That's it.
Jazakallah khair, sister. I remember reading that poem in your submission, and it's so true. And I love the way you ended it as well, because it's even though it's said in like a very light-hearted manner, it's a very heavy thing that Muslims have to deal with constantly, to be viewed in a certain way. And you know, Allah bless you for being able to clear up that misconception. I hope that you did.
Jazakallah.
Kashmir.
I'm sorry, I had it muted. Yeah, Jazakallah khair, Sister Amira. I like the fact that you highlight some of the typical stereotypes that we get as Muslims, because it's true, no matter how much we say it, people still perceive us in a certain kind of way. And I think you did a great job of articulating that. So Jazakallah khair. Sister, if people want to follow your content or read more of your poetry, do you have a book or social media?
I do not, but I do write for the website that's going to launch called muslim.co later in April at the beginning of Ramadan. So you can go there to see more of my writing eventually once we launch, but I don't have any social media. So
Perfect. So muslim.co.
Yes.
Perfect. That's so easy to remember, inshallah. I'll definitely be checking out more of your writing. And Jazakallah khair for sharing your content with us. And yeah, we'll be speaking to you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Okay, so Aisha, I think we have next in the room. Was Sister Nasira able to get back in? Did she? There you are. Assalamu alaikum.
I can see, sister. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, beautifully. Yes, please introduce yourself and go for it.
Okay. So I'm Nasira. I'm from South Africa. I'm 16 years old and I'm actually a published poet. So I have my own anthology out. And the poem I'm going to be reciting is basically from the point of view of a refugee child.
Yes, go for it, sister.
Okay. Uprooted, displaced, yet the people here are so much worse than those which we faced and the homes which we fled, the homes in which we bled. Tell me why do I prefer those not so sweet homes over a city of towering buildings and shining domes? The land of hope, they said. The land that will set us free from this rope, they said. They packed us like cans of fish into a small street in the west side of town, whilst we were still mourning our children who had drowned in the very death boats that brought us here. And in the land of hope, I am left longing for another terrain, a land in which I know the feel of the sand and sequence of the rain falling on my hand. So I tried to raise my voice and raise my people. Write freedom songs, tried to undo their wrongs, but like most revolutions, ours does not change constitutions. Our voices never heard, our human rights are called absurd, our protests never seen. Tell me why it's become so hard to breathe. Make it your home, they said. You won't be alone, they said. But this is not home, and neither was that. You see, my people's blood, flesh, and bones are the closest things to home I've ever known. They say humans are not islands. So we are a country, a continent of resilience, a land of hope, a land made from each other's blood, flesh, and bones. Jazakallah.
From the comments, I can see from the comments already, Allahumma barik, that was definitely a very, very powerful piece. I remember reading it when you submitted it, and I loved some of the lines that you did there. Kashmir, Dahani?
MashaAllah is very, very powerful. And you're talking, it's very strong content, and as a spoken word artist, a slam poet, a lot of the time we look for buzzwords, things that catch our attention, and you do that very beautifully.
Jazakallah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Tahani, and I feel like your piece definitely came from the heart. I feel like as you were performing, I could feel it come from your heart. And I just have to say, I have a soft spot for the South African accent anyway. Some of my closest friends growing up were South African, had South African accents. A lot of them actually, a lot of people from South Africa migrated to the UK too. So yeah, I just love the culture. And that's a good question. I never asked.
Sorry, what was your question?
Whereabouts in South Africa are you from, sister?
Oh, Johannesburg. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Wow.
This is my bio.
You have?
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing, mashallah.
It's very, very beautiful, very artsy, and yeah, mashallah.
Definitely. And sister, if anyone would like to follow your content, do you have more information?
Yeah. I'm on most social medias as Ness the Poet.
So NAS the Poet?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So for everyone out there who would like to follow Sister Nasira, her socials are under Nas the Poet. Perfect. Okay, Jazakallah khair. Wa iyaki. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And also, we will be posting the details for our performers, inshallah, God willing, and then everyone else will be able to enjoy further works from them. Okay, so who's the next poet who's going to come up? I believe it's Dean, Rhymes and Life. I don't know if I said it properly. Did I say it properly? Oh, there, yeah, Dean's Rhymes and Life. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Dean Rhymes and Life, and I'm from London. I'm a poet from London. At the moment, it's 1:30 a.m. in London, so as you'd assume everyone's asleep. So I've been doing this poetry thing for a few years. I've been writing for a long time, and yeah, I thought I'd get involved. Yeah, that's about it. Please do follow me at Dean Rhymes and Life on Instagram, and I'll follow you back, inshallah. And I'd just like to thank you all, to the organizers, for allowing me this opportunity. Jazakallah khairan to you all for selecting me and giving me this opportunity, even though we're quite late in the day. Alhamdulillah, I'm very glad to participate. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. We're very excited to hear what you have to say. Inshallah, I do remember reading your poem, and it was definitely one of the very strong ones. So I'm very happy that our audience are going to be able to appreciate that, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. The stage is yours, brother. Go.
Now, this piece I'm going to read is called Ilm and Amal, which means knowledge and action in Arabic, and it speaks about the virtues and the emphasis of seeking sacred knowledge and what virtues it carries, and also the importance of learning this knowledge and then implementing it in our lives and how it will benefit us in the hereafter, inshallah. So I pray and hope that you all can benefit from this poem of mine, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. How potent is this pen, that it decodes the notions enclosed within this head. I tread a path where angel wings lower in respect, forgiveness flowing with each breath from those who tread on land and the ocean in its depth. For the ones who seek pearls of wisdom, words and pictures from the cradle of birth till crimson is purged like ink that will spurt from a broken nib, as his soul exits and sinks to the earth at this instance. Sip at the oasis of knowledge, quench it with a pen tip. Drink from the fountain of scholarship, sit where the scholars sit, eyes closed, ears open, yet I focus as though I'm hearing the words straight from the prophet's lips. Students retrieving deep and dark secrets and promises from their teacher's sarcophagus. Decipher scripts, Arabic hieroglyphs, till you can paint an enlightened pic, papyrus ink, light a lantern, ignite a wick, inspire a kid, let a few lifeless live. People like myself, embezzled laymen, can never reach such a level station like the ones immersed in narrations and revelation. If you want to taste and smell heaven's fragrance, I suggest you ponder upon prophetic statements. I'm 0% human, just 100% submitted slave, till I'm left humble and dead in the floor with my hair flipping grey. I seek a reward you can never fathom, let alone imagine. Remember my father Adam. Remember my father Adam, a cluster of earthly atoms who was most perfectly gathered, who was most perfectly fashioned, who Allah that didn't advertently banished and taught him forgiveness using the perfect of manners. Thus we learn that seeking pleasure and solace in God is the purpose of sadness. If knowledge is the guiding light, only the rightly guided can possess this flame. I won't pretend I'm neither wretch nor saint. I'll be content with less than a pencil grain, just crave that my pen connects with page, to be or not to be the most blessed in this pencil game. We send salutations when you profess his name, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from the deepest clefts of every believer's chest till the extension of his mention is stressed in every breath we take. So now, like Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we talk, walk, sleep, rest and dress the same. We pray that with prophets we're raised. The humble student never forgets his state. The slave of Allah, the owner of all respect and praise. The king, the sovereign, the omnipotent, the owner of the solar system. I invoke his holy ism enclosed in spoken scriptures. He owns my soul and kingdom and everything beyond my scope of vision. I invoke his holy ism enclosed in spoken scriptures. He owns my soul and kingdom, everything beyond my scope of vision. I'll be beyond my scope of vision. I'll maybe cloaked in cloth and skin, but I'm just a coder of pulp and fiction. My flow's colder than a bowl of frozen crystals every bar. I rap and present his way over your head like a mistletoe. Your brain, you best stay woke like folk at Christmas. I spit prose that will split domes to give hope to the old and children and flow the whole distance until my voice goes and my bones are all broken, injured. Once you're gone, the knowledge and actions you've left behind will transcend the realms of time. So remember, ilm and amal is the soul to that very soul, is the soul to that very thobe you sit until you're cloaked in robes and encroach that hole that you'll be digged in. No breath to hold breathless as Malakul Maut will approach with his henchmen. You'll be quizzed and probed about how you rode, who you chilled with, giving witness about the lies you spinned life and how you lived it, even at this instance. Questioned about the blood flow through your whole nervous system. So in other words, my bros and sisters, ilm and amal, knowledge and action is the soul to your whole existence. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khairan for listening. I hope you benefited and I hope you all enjoyed it.
I just want to say, brother, it's not so much that it's about enjoying it. It's the words were extremely, extremely powerful, and it brought it back to exactly the purpose of why we are here and why we are doing what we're doing, which is calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And thank you, Jazakallah so much for doing that. I think Sister Tahani had something to say. I interrupted.
No, I was just saying, mashallah, you're up very late. You're getting ready for Ramadan. Just see yourself as preparing for Ramadan, inshallah. Very, very strong words, mashallah. May Allah reward you and continue on this path, inshallah, of sharing your story, your ideas, inshallah.
Yes, and I completely 100% agree. Allahumma ameen. Your words were not just powerful, relevant, and moving, but I feel like the poetic skill that you use, the internal rhyme, the kinds of metaphors that you refer to, the way that you relate that to prophetic scripture and things that we as Muslims believe and hold very dear to us, I think that is really what is so like you just put it together in such a very articulate way. I'm actually lost for words. So Jazakallah khair. And could you share with any budding writers out there how you get inspiration to write things like this, and what you recommend to them if they are seeking inspiration?
Just briefly, I'd say that if you really want to write about something, the topic, it should be something that you feel very strongly about. So that way your emotions won't be just expressed through your body language, at the same time be expressed through your words. So really think about those things that are very personal to you and very important to you as a writer, and let your emotions that you have towards it be expressed in the words that you write down on your paper. That's a small piece of advice. And continue to write. No one achieved a specific level just from the first day. So you really need to push yourself and really try implementing different sophisticated styles of rhyme scheme, metaphors, etc. And that's what I really try to do myself every day, or whenever I put my pen to paper, I really try to think, right, this is what I had written last time. How can I improve the next piece that I'm going to write? So alhamdulillah, we just continue to persevere, and yep, that's all really.
That's thank you. That was very beautiful advice. Thank you so much. I think that I, as a spoken word poet, also benefited very heavily from your advice, and I'm sure that everyone out there who is listening appreciated it too. So, jazakallah khair, and now you can go and get some rest, inshallah, or you could pray tahajjud.
The Tahajjud. If it's the Tahajjud time, might be past Fajr actually, because it's actually no, it's like 1 a.m. in England right now. I think maybe around near 2 a.m. The Tahajjud is a good time actually, inshallah. The Tahajjud basically means for our viewers, our viewers who are non-Muslim. The Tahajjud is a how would you describe it? Gosh, I think you're much more eloquent at this than I am. Go for it.
Gosh, I think like just the basic description would just be the last third of the night. And it is a time when Allah descends to the lowest heaven and he asks who is asking of me so that I can give him. And it is a very special and sacred time in the night as that we Muslims believe is the perfect time to ask Allah for anything. If there is anything that we seek, if there is anything that we hope that Allah will forgive us and pardon us for, that is the perfect time for us. So
yeah,
I hope that's
one of Allah's greatest gifts to us, right? You know, especially right now in this time that we're in. Subhanallah, Tahajjud is a time that, you know, we are closest to Allah, and we should be asking for all of the things, not only forgiveness with istighfar and dua and all of the gifts that Allah has provided for us with our you know, magnificent religion.
Yeah, thank you, Jazakallah khair. Yeah, that was very heavy. Alhamdulillah. So I guess we are going on to our next performer. Is he online, Aisha?
Brother Ala, yes, he is. Brother Ala, please introduce yourself. I like the cap, by the way, and go for it, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alhamdulillah. So yeah, my name is Ala, as she said. I'm from New York, Brooklyn, New York, actually, and my parents are from Palestine. I don't really got much to say. I've known Aisha for a while now, about like 5 years, I bet. And I've been a part of Strangers Poetry for a while too as well. And yeah. Can we start, inshallah? Bismillah.
Yes, please do.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. While we this piece is called One Nation, by the way. Bismillah. While we claim to fight, while we claim to stand up for peace, the whole world actually took a piece. Conquered and divided from the east to the west. Could it be? Are the numbers lopsided? No, that isn't the case. We actually outnumber them. If we wanted to, we wouldn't even leave a single trace. But that was not his way. And I don't mean the way of Sunni, Salafi, Shi'i, or Sufi. I mean the way of Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon he. Can't you see that these labels are tearing us apart as each oppressor takes their part? When will we learn? When will we learn to embrace one another under one banner, planted by one messenger, sent by one master? When? Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, brother. I always remember, I remember like a while ago, there was a competition in Mist, and right at the very end, you got that poet cap and you threw it on the floor, and I think everyone was just like shocked. And alhamdulillah, your poems are very short, they're to the point, and they definitely get the message across. Jazakallah khair for that. Sister Kashmir, Sister Tahani.
Yeah. Just making sure we're not related. Are you from Bet Hanina?
No, I get that a lot though. I'm from Albira.
Albira. Well, we have family from there too. Don't worry. Okay, good.
Nice to meet you.
Great job, mashallah.
Thank you.
Yes, and I agree, Jazakallah khair. I thought it was short, powerful, and punchy. That's how I would define it. And powerful. Jazakallah khair. And we just want to clarify also the reason, well, not the only reason that we are complimenting your hat is because that is actually the Strangers merchandise. So we as the Strangers have poet hats. So for any of our viewers who are interested in that, you know, reach out to us and we'll let you know. And we sell them on our website, inshallah, and we have them available. So yeah, so thank you for being a walking, talking, marketing
representative.
Thank you guys for always having the platform. Jazakallah khair.
Wa iyaka.
Okay, so next we're going to have someone who has performed at one of our previous IGNA poetry slams. Her name is Gifted Ellison. I have to admit, I don't know because her actual real name, but I think Gifted Ellison is a very beautiful representation of her as a person, because she is very gifted, Allahumma barik, and especially in poetry. So please do welcome Sister Gifted Ellison. And okay, it says she's not here right now. Okay, that inshallah very soon she will be. Okay, next person up inshallah is Sister Sarah Ali. Is Sister Sarah Ali here? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Sister Sarah, please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is my name is Sada Ali. I'm 14 years old. I was born and raised in America, specifically New York, Queens. But my parents, my family, they're from Palestine, and there's struggle happening there, war. And my poem is basically reflective on the idea that this world is basically corrupt, and no one's really doing anything about it. So I hope you enjoy.
Jazakallah khair, sister.
The false light of this world is only transparent to those who cause darkness to proceed. As people start to pass by those in the streets who we need to feed, fame and glory starts to unravel on a scale of never-ending ambition. It starts to become a disease. As half this world is lost in wealth and the other in despair. Homeless on the streets amongst the borders of Times Square. Materialistic objects that we idolize in the hopes of fame. It becomes those who are aware that they try to tame. Delusions, the implements of society to get us to forget about things that are not fair. And as half of us are silent, speaking out almost becomes a dare. You hear a whisper of justice, it's followed by a glare. Finding hope to some becomes rare. You see, we the people are the lab rats of an experiment gone terribly wrong. You play the game of massacre, and you win a bone. You succeed as the rest of the world is in a war zone. We the people are lost in the cycle of wealth, and ultimately we have become blind. Most of us are deluded by the newsroom lies. We start to get confused about who's a terrorist and who's not, who is the killer and who died because he rebelled against injustice and fought. We the people need to look around and see the dreading circumstances of countries like Palestine, where Zionists are attacking and having the world believe in their lies, where the world now believes that there's an Israel and that we should let them attack, when America is taking our taxes, giving it to Israel and kicking back. Every traumatic, excruciatingly tragic, and sorrowful event that circulates this globe. It's like there's a nail being banged right into my soul, and I can hear it through my earlobe. I can hear the children screaming as if the ground is pulling them in alive. I can hear the people running for their very own lives, and I look to the bloody ground where these stories lie. The story of how a little boy was bombed after he hugged his mom goodnight. How the mother hugged him very tight before closing the light, and when not able to keep their eyes open for security and protection any longer, they were found dead, not alive. We the people have disunited ourselves in the hopes of money and wealth, sold our people to the enemy's hands and disregarded their health, played the game of innocence to isolate ourselves from the reality known as massacre and terror, walked through the maze of never-ending joy and sent a I don't care about anyone letter. We let the bloodshed of our own blood and we let death be the solution of so-called justice so that we may prevail, creating depression intoxicating moments that we don't even realize and chasing after our own tails, self-absorbed in our own sick mentalities and let ourselves be fooled. Fell into the devil's plan, and from blood we create masses of pools. Segregation and fatalization continues to linger in the society that we are in, as people start to make excuses to enable themselves to continue with their sins. We the people need to stop the propagandas, the backslash, and oppression that we see today. We the people need to fix these problems with just one way. Unity, together, as one ummah, and through that we shall succeed. No matter your ethnicity or mine, together every mouth we shall feed. Unity and justice, that's the key. Because in the phrase we the people, it's we, not me. Unity, that's the key. Thank you. That's it.
Jazakallah khair, sister. That was beautiful. Allahumma barik. That was very, very beautiful. And I love the fact in the end you said we the people, not just me. And it's a very, very powerful concept because, you know, when it's very relative as related to the concept of we the people in general being Americans, which was the original theme of the IGNA Convention. And she definitely tied it in beautifully. I pray that more people benefited from your words, and it was very beautifully written. Jazakallah khair for sharing, sister.
Thank you.
What yaki?
Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so next.
She's
sorry,
gone.
Kashmir. She's gone, but please, she can still hear you. What were you gonna say?
Okay, I wanted for her to share where her content could be found and if people want to read more of her poetry. But yeah, I guess if we're going to reshare all of that information at the very end anyway, because we're going to consolidate it for all our viewers. But yeah, so I guess we'll move on to our next performer, inshallah, who is...
Okay, perfect. Next performer is Pablo Roy. I hope I pronounced that properly. Lyrical, also known as Lyrical Lunacy. You can find him on Instagram, and this is the brother I was talking about who is from all the way from Jakarta. I don't know if I pronounced that again properly. Very bad with all of that. Please introduce yourself and go for it. The stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. Pablo Roy. I go by the name Pablo Roy. My real name is Pablo Saba. I'm in Jakarta right now. I was here mentorship program for hip hop and writing. Bangkok, born and raised in Miami, Florida. I'm Palestinian American, and so this is a poem.
Perfect.
There's three monsters in your bedroom.
No, brother. There just seems to be a connection issue. You keep breaking up. I thought it might have just a little bit. I thought it was just my computer, but there are a few comments. People are saying that there is maybe like a bad connection. Maybe just try again, inshallah. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's all right. There's three monsters in your bedroom, but you have only ever seen two. They show very different faces, but from the tenured lack of light, recessing in knowledge's recesses. And that mattress is nothing but the carpet stitched of springs and cotton fear has got. Never let you forget that it's down there. So you skip town there, you found there, you fly fast, forward and far. You dash toward the stars till your barge ends up stuck in a whole bunch of nothing. Desire's light had you fronting. Think you can keep fear away, so you steer away. You hit that, you just plummet, because that thing you that your pipes are weak, there's a leak, and they got just what you need to fix the plumbing, so keep running. These brothers, they're mad cunning. Like a snitchless game of Quidditch, so your brain is skittish, lenses lidded, fitted like a new era, so this pair of bouncers, they pounce. They whip it to work. Wow, who'd have thought it would work? How they keep guarding this garden. The same one you were tricked and fooled into walking, ego, coughing, clamoring to and fro, Zen let dance between.
Okay, so I'm not sure if it was just me again, but there was a lot of connectivity issues. So we're gonna ask the brother to maybe switch off the camera and then just do the audio. Brother, I don't know if you could hear us right now. If you're able to maybe leave the room and then come back again, and then also switch off the camera, and then just do the audio. Maybe it might be a stronger connection. Okay, looks like he's left right now. So we will be asking our next poet to come up. Let me see who we have here right now. So hopefully, God willing, he will be coming back. Okay, our next poet is called Sister Fatima Muhammad. She will be performing and she will introduce herself right now. So sister, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatima Muhammad. I'm from New York City, originally from Yemen. And the title of my piece is A Love Letter to Those Who Can No Longer Read.
Jazakallah khair. Connection is perfect.
Okay, perfect. A love letter to those who can no longer read. Baba laid so still in Mom's lap with maroon rivers gushing onto the ripped furniture as I approached him, asking him to wake up. My mother hovered over his body silently. She hugged him tighter than usual, refusing to allow me to see, but Baba, you loved to play dead with me. So I walked a bit closer and put my doll dressed in white to the side, and when I stained it in red, I started to cry. It's a pretty dress, Baba. Get up, won't you see? They misunderstood, cleaned Baba up, wrapped him in white. Had I known I would have fell in love with the stains, maybe then Baba would have stayed. Baba, I'm in love with the color red now, and gray skies don't scare me. I promise white is no longer my favorite color, and my doll is still dressed in that same stained dress, just like the day you left me. The drones that decorate the skies aren't that bad. They're the alarms that wake us up in the morning, and the rubble that scatters the streets isn't that bad. We use the cement rocks to play hopscotch, you see. And Baba, my best friends fell in love with white too, wrapped and tucked safely beneath the ground. Mom Pinky promised that she'd stay with me, but isn't that what you said too? And now look at you, 6 feet beneath the concrete, you see? I'm confused, Baba. What's the big deal? Mom says I'm not supposed to know the outline of my rib cage and that my stomach shouldn't constantly sing at night. She says I should know my alphabet by now and that I shouldn't know what a decapitated body looks like, that cemeteries shouldn't be where I find my peace. She says I shouldn't be so comfortable dancing with death during day and night, tiptoeing on the brink of insanity, that the sight of blood shouldn't comfort me, but it reminds me of you, don't they see? And if they don't, then you tell me how much louder should I plead? How much longer are you playing this game of hide and seek? Baba, do you not plan on returning? Not even once? Can I come and see what it's like, where the skies don't rain bullets and where the screams of children don't echo the streets, where we live every day as though it's the last, metaphorically, where birds aren't afraid of our skies and people go to the waters for pleasure, not to collect dead bodies, a world where death is a stranger, not a relief, where my doll won't get stained in red, and you'd wake up from playing dead, where Ard al-Yemen didn't constantly bleed, and where they wouldn't call our murder a side effect of an unfortunate calamity, where our purposeful starvation wouldn't be referred to as a personal tragedy, a humanitarian crisis, but a slow, violent genocide, and where the world wouldn't just continue turning a blind eye, a world where I wouldn't have to write all my love letters to those who can no longer read, a world where peace would quit its game of hide and seek, where we live every day as though it's the last, strictly, purely, metaphorically. Jazakum khair.
Sister. That was very powerful. I can hear myself echo. Okay, I'm back on. Jazakallah khair for that piece, sister. It was extremely powerful. I remember the submission as well. It was definitely one of the most memorable ones. Sister Tahani, Sister Kashmir.
MashaAllah, it's a very touching piece, and the imagery is something so strong, MashaAllah. Like I said with one of the other poets earlier, it's very beautiful to see that someone can embody the emotion and give you the story image by image, and you also give us like a time frame of what was happening. And tabarakallah, sometimes that's very hard for an artist to relay that. So you did a very good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you all. And I just wanted to ask you, Sister Fatima, what inspires you to write?
I started writing recently, actually. I started, my first poem was after the travel ban. I've always loved to write. I just didn't know like what outlet to start writing in. And poet sounded just too big for me. I was like, I'm not a poet. So I first wrote that piece and then I performed it. And then my friends were like, this is good. You should write more. And that's just sort of how it went. But I'm very attached to my home country, Yemen, and I've always felt their struggle, even though I'm not living there. It's pure arbitrariness that I'm here and they're there. So I've always wanted to tell their stories in the way I knew best, and poetry was that outlet for me.
Yes, and thank you so much, Jazakallah khair. And a lot of people don't pay attention to what is happening in Yemen right now. And I think that it's beautiful that you highlight that and that that's something that you're passionate about, even though you're not living in Yemen right now. So Jazakallah khair for that. And if anyone would like to follow your work or read more, do you have any social media or published work?
I'm on Instagram. My handle is F2_ATIMAAA. I'll leave it in the comments, so if anybody wants to see it. But if you want to see some of my work, you can go there, inshallah. And inshallah, I perform more in the future.
Definitely, we would love to have you on. We'll have many more of these, inshallah. And you're now part of our family. So Jazakallah khair. And and definitely type in your social, your whatever your name is on Instagram, so people can follow you. And I'm sure that they will check that in the comments, inshallah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so our next poet is going to be Brother Pabalroy. I don't know if I pronounced it again, and hopefully, God willing, it's gonna be clear this time. So the stage is yours again. Go for it.
All right, hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Once again, my name is Pabalroy. My real name is Pablo Saba. I'm a Palestinian American poet, born and raised in Miami, Florida. But I'm coming at you today from Jakarta because I'm stuck here due to coronavirus. So this poem goes by the name of Monsters in the Bedroom. There's 3 monsters in your bedroom, but you've only really ever seen 2. See, there's the one under the bed and the one in the attic behind the ceiling light. They both show very different faces, but hide in kindred darkness. Fear and desire, they both draw strength from the tenured lack of light recessing in knowledge's recesses. And that mattress is nothing but the carpet stitched of springs and cotton fear has gotten swept under. And they'll never let you forget that it's down there. So you skip town there. You found air. You fly fast, forward and far. You dash toward the stars till your barge ends up stuck in a whole bunch of nothing. Desire's light had you fronting. It tricked you to think you could keep fear away. So you steer away, flying blind with stars in your eyes to a darkness you think you know until you hit that plummet and you hit the summit and you plummet. Desire's light had you fronting. These brothers, they're mad cunning. They made you believe that there's something wrong with your plumbing. There's something that they have everything that you need to fix the plumbing. So keep running. They're mad cunning. These brothers, they swing flaming swords back and forth for like forever and a fortnight. Like a snitchless game of Quidditch. So your brain, it's skittish, lenses lidded, fitted in like a new era while these pair of bouncers, they pounce. They scramble up your ego infinito. They whip it to work. Wow. Who'd have thought it would work? How they keep guarding this garden, the one you were born and begotten. I don't know, you must have forgotten. Caught, tricked, and fooled into walking. Egos coughing, clamoring to and fro. Zen, let it go. No one else but self. In a dance between the darkness, perfectly timed to the rhythm rattling threshold, the third monster waits behind. It's a locked door metronome you have learned to hate. It never hibernates. You can feel its pace. The walls, they shake with every step that it takes. The doorknob rattles to the same pace that its blood circulates. And when it stops heaving, you can hear it breathing. And a faint screaming sinks in as you reach, and then you start to think of its repugnance. You let your hand go and you keep trudging, huffing, puffing, a bludgeon, scuffed soul sold by the same sucker who's too disgusted to stop and wonder, like, yo, what kind of spell am I under? Blundering, bending backwards to keep fronting and acting like half of you's not sure which side of the lock is the trap. See, there's 3 monsters in that bedroom. You've really only ever seen 2. But the fact is, there's not a single mirror in there, so what to do? Thank you.
Wow, let's just say I am so happy that we managed to get connected again and that you managed to sort out the Wi-Fi situation. MashaAllah, that was phenomenal. And I personally love your performance style. I think it's very moving. I think it helps your words connect with your audience. I thought it was very powerful. So Jazakallah khair for sharing that.
Jazakallah khair, brother, for sharing. Alhamdulillah, you were able to share, and we had a lot of comments from the live comment feed that people, I think someone said they were digging it. I haven't heard that in a very long time, but they were digging it. So click, click, click. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, and inshallah more to come. Now we're online, virtual, and connected, inshallah. Thank you, brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so next person here who will be coming up, inshallah. Sister Tahani, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
No, alhamdulillah, I felt cheated for like 5 minutes, but then I'm happy we figured it out.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, perfect. So the next person up, inshallah, is going to be Brother Maj. He will introduce himself and he will also go right into the poem. Go for it, brother. The stage is yours.
All right. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. My voice is a little raspy. I was teaching all day, but nevertheless, my name is Muhammad Ali. I go by Maj or I Poetic on social medias. I am based here in Minnesota. I wrote this poem called Friends. It's a poem that's needed, especially in this time, with different generations coming up. We have to understand the importance this religion of ours has on friends and how friends plays a huge role around ourselves. And so having the right friends can really set you apart from the rest of the people. So, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, inshallah, the poem will speak for itself. Bismillah. Who is a companion on the road? What is a medicine for all the diseases that life wrote? You are a plant at a slower growth. Let fry defined all the things that fry you, like most problems you go through, like when good disappeared and bad was in lieu, like loneliness that brings out the wrong from you, like a fog that strayed you from the path that's causing it difficult to view. You know those few that put an end to fry, connecting two to make a friend that is true. Your religion is always based upon a friend that you choose, so take those whose hearts are connected to Al-Qudus, the Holy One, in whose hands fault does not produce, so excuse yourself from those whose hearts are loose. And if you choose to stay, then be the one to tighten their screw, be the one to pressure, so you too can be that plant that actually grew. So you too can be that fruit that will continue to ripen as long as you two stay on the same crew. Isn't it true that a person who prays the morning prayers at his time shall taste the sweetness of the morning dew? Who knew you can be under his shade on that day when the sun is a mile away, only for loving someone for the sake of the one who allowed us to live this day? Isn't it safe to say that a friend who reminds us of tomorrow is far better than a friend who reminds us of today? Again, I remind you to get a righteous friend. Not saying you're obligated to get the most pious of friends, but a friend that brings your iman back to the top so you can feel the goodness, are modest and honest, and their trust will make you feel that you're their closest. They'll help you stay focused until you meet the greatest. Now, You might think there's not such a person to consider a friendly figure or that friend that I pictured because you believe where love and friendship should be, society has fractured. But this deen amends a broken heart. True, finding a friend I described is a bit hard, but always depart from a friend that does not lay out the difference between this life and the next apart. Because if you don't, then you play life with a black card. When you and your friends have the same goal, only then will you play your cards right. And if no friends is found around you, then walk in solitude and make a friend from the one who has all the best of attributes. I mean, you can be a negative person with all the world's attitude, but he'll be your absolute value. The last part of every night he calls to you. Few are awake to answer their friend, to ask anything that their hearts drew. The best of friendship have a streak where they get connected at least 5 times a day, and their conversation isn't a chat that snaps away. You stand in front of him while praising him as he praises you. He says, walk to me, I'll run to you. He says, ask of me, it'll come to you as soon as you ask it, or in the afterlife, or it can protect you from a calamity that is meant to arrive. A friend that is closer to you than your jugular veins, a friend that knows your every pain, loves you 70 times more than your own birth giver claims. How much more can I explain? The love he maintains, his love reigns, and each droplet contains more love than I can ever explain. So make a friend from him, so then he can send friends that befriended him. The love will overwhelm you indeed, because then you will see the friends that you need to proceed and succeed as a companion on the road, finding the medicine for all the diseases that life wrote inside the Quran, because it's a key to help you crack down all of life's code. So stay heedful as you carry your load, as you two travel to a land of eternal bliss to be your final abode, so you can finally relax and unload. Jazakumullah khairan.
Wow, I just want to say that you blew us away. That was phenomenal, mashallah. And for me personally, when I read poetry, I always am curious about what inspires people to write. So my question is to you, what inspired you to write about good companionship?
There was one time where I was traveling to, I'm here based in Minnesota, so I was traveling to New York. And so I was just on the way to travel, I was just thinking like, it's very important because a friend can have a right impact on you, or a friend could have a negative impact on you depending on how you guys socialize. And so a friendship, you don't have to be very, very religious, but a friend that just keeps you on the right path, that motivates you, that supports you, that loves you, that critiques you, because friendship also needs to look at the positive side and negative side. So I was just thinking, like, we need a friend like that. And what better friend can we have than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because He gives us both sides in the Quran subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so if we make a friend from Him, then He will send us friends that befriended Him. Because there's a hadith that said, if Allah loves you, then Allah will send you people that He loves. And so you're surrounded with that bubble that is just amazing, subhanahu wa ta'ala. SubhanAllah.
Wow. Yes, subhanAllah. That's very powerful and very, very deep. Thank you so much for sharing. Jazakallah khair.
I have a question.
Jazakallah khair.
What do you teach?
I am a Quran teacher. Usually, I teach Qaida, the Green Book, the Hingads and the pronunciations of pre-Quran before you start the Quran, inshallah.
MashaAllah.
So little kids from the ages of 4 till 9, and I'm just getting them ready for the world.
MashaAllah. May Allah reward you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair, brother. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us all with righteous companions. Ameen. And the best of companions really is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. Ameen. Okay, so next going up will be Kashmir Mariam. I think you know better than I do. I believe it is Gifted, right?
Yes, we should have Gifted.
Okay, perfect. Listen. Welcome. Please do introduce yourself and go for it.
Can y'all hear me? Wait, what happened? Did y'all go away? Did y'all go away? Okay, it says everybody can hear and see you. What happened?
For some reason, there's some feedback. I'm not really sure if it's me, but we can hear you, sister. We can hear you.
because you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Instagram platform.
Okay, I'm not sure why you're breaking up, sister. I'm not sure why you're breaking up. For anyone else who's here, yeah, I think for anyone else who's here, is it just me, or is it it is actually breaking up? There's an issue with the audio, I believe. Let me mute myself again. One second.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, sister. Okay, yes, technical issue.
Can you?
Okay, so maybe sister could possibly come back again, and we could try again, inshallah. She can try and reconnect. In the meantime, we'll have another sister go up, Sister Zainab Rahman. And please do introduce yourself, Sister Zainab. It's wonderful to see you. I've heard a lot from you, and we've emailed back and forth a few times for some other projects that we've got running, campaigns and things. And it's an amazing opportunity, and it's an honor to have you here on this platform. So please do introduce yourself and go for it.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zainab Rahman. I am 17 years old from New Jersey, and I go to Nurli Man. The poem I'm going to be reciting today is titled Alternate Realities, and it talks about Eid Day and how I realize that there's two groups of people. The first being one that can thoroughly enjoy Eid as an occasion and as a wonderful, joyous celebration. But I realize that's not everyone's reality, that's not everyone's situation. And as you will see in this poem, this young girl that I wrote about belongs to the second group. She only desires for a wonderful Eid. And towards the end of this poem, you'll discover what exactly ends up happening to her. And with that, I'd like to begin. Alternate realities. A young girl sits outside on a cold Eid night. Whoosh! A wicked wind grabs her with all its might. She shivers and quivers with nothing to wear. Fancy clothes she cannot spare. Everywhere, everywhere, houses filled with delight. Yet she only has a single light, a candle she found on the floor, placed next to a decorated door. She looks through a window and sees children laughing, playing, and having a blast. But this poor young girl only wonders if her candle will last. She cannot return to her wonderful warm home because unfortunately the roof has been torn. She closes her eyes and sees an image in her mind, an image of a person that is so divine. Grandma, Grandma, she yells as her heart begins to swell. Come, my child, to this heavenly place. Leave the hardships of this world that you face. Come on now, hurry and haste. We have no time to waste. She takes one last breath and says goodbye to this world of challenges and trial. Oh, only for a normal life was her desire. But no one knows what happened to this poor young girl on a cold Eid night, as the wind had taken her with all its might. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, sister. You know, subhanallah, that poem was extremely powerful. It reminds me of it was a cartoon which was on, I think it's on Netflix. My husband, he showed it to me, and it was about an orphan girl, and she was just, I think it was called The Little Match Girl. And it was so touching and beautiful, because you don't normally expect to see such like depth, especially with some cartoons, but it reminded me a lot of that story. And may Allah bless you for that, and make us thoughtful of those who are who don't have as much as we do. Jazakallah khair for sharing, sister.
Yeah, Jazakallah khair. And I'd also second that. I feel like your poetry, it has a very classical twist to it, which I find really, like, and that's something that I find very inspirational, because I love the classical poets, for example, like William Blake. I felt like you had a hint of William Blake in there. So and he talks about issues like that too. So Jazakallah khair, it was very refreshing to hear, and I'm sure that our viewers definitely enjoyed it too. So Jazakallah khair. Okay, so were we able to get Sister Gifted Ellison back online?
Can y'all hear
Were
me?
we able to?
Here I am.
I can see Sister loading. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. I was like so hyped. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah barakatuh. Sister, we're going to turn our mics on mute, and you can just go ahead, introduce yourself, and start your poem, inshallah.
Okay. My name is Shakita Gifted and Ellison, and I'm so happy and honored to be here tonight. So excited that we are all together here despite the climate that we're in right now. So I'm glad for that and you all. And so I am a poet and author and spoken word artist. And I'm going to perform We the People for you all. Go back to your country, gladly. The beginning of civilization in Africa, a continent where great men, women, and children lived, they were royalty. Your forefathers told our truth, writing a violent story, abducted from our history. In the absence of blind hair and privilege, these legislative laws pretend to protect nothing but destroy the very fabric of our societies. No social cohesion, divide and conquer. Manipulate our children to believe in your dumbed-down democracies. How can we invest in an educational system that teaches the Darwin theory, make us hate ourselves and love our wealth easy, stage freedom, smoke gray skies, aftermath of egotistical driven wars? It's January 1st, 1802. Start believing with you that religion is a matter that lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to none of us except for his worship.
Sister,
sister. Separation of church cries against humanity. Bosnia.
Sister, we're having trouble hearing you again. Unfortunately, there's still an audio disconnect, and it's everyone who's in this room is having the same issue, and I think everyone who's probably listening to it as well. We'll inshallah try and work through this connection issue, and in the meantime we will welcome another one of our poets up to the stage while Sister's going to be trying to inshallah sort out that connection. Sister Naima, please do introduce yourself and go for it.
Hey, assalamu alaikum. And I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a middle school teacher. Hey guys, if you're watching. And I wrote a poem called A Lost Protection after a trip to Italy. Should I start?
Yes, sister, please start.
Okay. A lost protection. I am the embodiment of fear. I am the media's sensationalized, senseless stereotype. I am the target of non-discriminatory discrimination. I am the source of entertainment for TSA. If you stay in Rome for 3 days, you'll fall in love, said a Roman cab driver. I was in love, subhanAllah. The sweet smell of lush grass, morning dew, fresh baked bread, and the robust smell of coffee in the air. Blessed, I was there, a part of preserved history. Dodging puddles and warm raindrops, crossing busy Italian streets full of mopeds and compact cars. Blessed, I was there, a part of preserved history. If you stay in Rome for 3 days, you'll fall in love. I was transported through time. Blessed, I was there, touching parts of history. The Colosseum still held excitement, happiness, sorrow, and death of the ones who once inhabited, gaped, and played in that space. Tucked within a historical site was a modern metropolis that was living and thriving. Blessed, I was there to be a part of preserved history. I am the embodiment of fear. I am the media's sensationalized, senseless stereotype. I'm the target for non-discriminatory discrimination. I am the source of entertainment for TSA. Leaving was a breeze all through all the security checkpoints. I was asked, but I had no choice, to get my head patted down. I am the embodiment of fear. I am the media's sensationalized, senseless stereotype. I am the target for non-discriminatory discrimination. I am the source of entertainment for TSA. Oh, okay, yeah, you have to take off your headdress. Angered, bewildered, and helpless. I'm an American. If you stay in Rome for 3 days, you will fall in love. I was shackled, yet there were no chains. I was bonded, yet there were no constraints. I'm the embodiment of fear. I am the media's sensationalized, senseless stereotype. I'm the target for non-discriminatory discrimination. I'm the source of entertainment for TSA. Why do I have to take off my hijab? Procedure. Oh, I suppressed anger, humiliation, outrage. Focused my attention on the khaki national fascist uniform. Focused. My eyes intensely scorching her face. If you stay in Rome for 3 days, you'll fall in love. Humiliated, helpless, less than human. Is this how my ancestors felt? Generations of emotions passed down my silent subconscious. Just say yes, master. You don't have to go around showing your feelings. Handle it. Be strong. Don't let them see you cry. Hold your head up high. And I did. Hijab, my protest to society that held me against my enslavement, was taken away. Yes, master, burned in my soul, ingrained in me, and I didn't even know. Waves of tears a blink away. Tears for the Muslima. Tears for my ancestors. I am the embodiment of fear. I am media's sensationalized, senseless stereotype. I am the target for non-discriminatory discrimination. I'm the source of entertainment for TSA. Hijab is my safety, my shield, my security. I was exposed, endangered, erroneous, asked. Asked? The truth is, I couldn't really refuse to take off my hijab without being branded guilty. If you stay in Rome for 3 days, you'll fall in love. I was shackled, yet there were no chains. Bound, yet there were no constraints. This is stop and frisk. This is sus law. This is a new apartheid. I was shackled, yet there were no chains. Bonded, yet there were no constraints. No one can protect me but Allah. Glimpses of oppression the ummah shakes off because they are not ours. We say they are Asian. We say they are Arab. We say they are Black. We say they are Desi. We say they are white. We are shackled, yet there are no chains. Bonded, yet there are no constraints. No one can protect us, only Allah.
MashaAllah. SubhanAllah, Sister Naima, I met you in Brooklyn for an event, right?
Yes, 8th grade graduation.
Yes, you never told me that you wrote poetry so beautifully as well, MashaAllah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just blown away, and I feel like you hit on some very deep points for us to think about as an ummah, especially in these times that we're going through, when we think about other people and, you know, what class or what tribe or what race they belong to. But really the fact of the matter is that we're all Muslim, and we have to see ourselves as an ummah. So I think it was beautiful that you did that, and I just love your poem. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
وإياكي جزاك خير.
I think it was
and now sorry I can hear someone talking. I'm not sure who it is.
No, I just said it, I thought it was very relatable.
Yes, definitely. I feel like as hijabis, it's something that we all experience. Oh, I'm getting some feedback too. Are you guys getting feedback?
Yep.
Okay, let me see if I could. Okay. Testing. Okay. So let's move on to our next performer, inshallah. We are having who is available next? I think we have Wasik for the Wasik.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone doing?
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're doing good, alhamdulillah. We're enjoying the show and we're happy that you could join us. Where are you calling in from?
Houston, Texas. I'm repping it right now.
Oh, I should have guessed from the shirt. Yeah, mashallah. So, brother, tell us a little bit about yourself and you can just go straight into your poem after that, inshallah.
Sure. So my name is Wasik Javed. My stage name, as you can see, is Wise IQ. Alhamdulillah, I've been writing spoken word poetry for about 5 years now. Literally a year ago, I competed with the University of Houston poetry team at the College Union's Poetry Slam Invitational, which is the Cup C tournament. It's the nation's largest poetry slam competition. So I had the honor to compete with the University of Houston, and we placed fourth on the final stage. So I'm based in Houston, Texas. I study political science at University of Houston, and this piece is titled "Real Men." Before I begin, I just wanted to shout out young Muslims. Wanted to shout out all my friends, mentors who are tuning in, and my family in the living room who's watching right now. So I love everyone who's with me here, and I'm honored and glad to be on this stage, and glad that ICNA is holding a poetry slam, virtually, even during this time. People are still connected to the art. People are still connected to these messages, which are a way for stay strong. So without further ado, I'll begin. The tears of a man are precious. I said the tears of a man are precious, but every time I say this, you think I'm a little lesser. You think I'm a little weaker for not having an ego, for battling my fights with words and a lingo, for my fists are a detriment to a soul. I would never lay hands on someone that I know, and if I don't, that's more of a reason not to blow. Us men, we have lost self-control. We prize our pride more than we prize our lives. So when I get hit with crisis, I can't even cry. When I see someone suffering, I can't even think twice. Us men, we have lost emotion. The art and ability of human connection. So when I sit with my lady, I give her attention. When I sit with my homie, I don't speak, I listen. When I see a group of kids, can we just act like some children? I'm not afraid to say, I love you to my brother. I'm not afraid to hug you or kiss you on the cheek. If that's how much I love you, why can't we say the things we want to say because we think it's soft, right? It's not man-like. Real men Wasik. Real men fight. Real men Wasik. Real men don't play nice. Real men Wasik. Real men stay on the ground. Real men Wasik. Real men are loud. Real men Wasik. Real men don't cry. Okay, Wasik, control yourself. Understand the situation. Analyze the body language. Look at his face. What does mom want? What does she really want? Where did you just come from? How's your relationship with them right now? Could you have acted differently? Could you have used a smile? Could you have said some encouraging words? Could you have just used a different tone? Could you have just been there in the moment? Do you not know their personality? Do you not know how they're going to react if you say this? Or could have said this instead? Real men Wasik. Real men have patience. Real men Wasik. Real men use wisdom. Real men Wasik have confidence, but will never let arrogance step above it. Real men Wasik decipher emotion, know how to diffuse a situation, uplift someone's condition, empathize, and understand someone's tension, say the right words for the right person at the right time. For the right words for the wrong person at the right time, or the right words for the right words for the wrong person at the right time. You've mastered it. When I raise my son, I will tell him it's okay to cry. When I raise my daughter, I will tell her to love only a man that does so too. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, brother. I have to say, yeah, from the comments, I'm gonna Kashmir, Tahani, I'm sure you have a lot to say about that. Allahumma barik. But you're definitely clearing up misconceptions about what it means to be a man, and we really appreciate that, and you being able to share it in such a powerful way on this platform. Sister Kashmir, Sister Tahani, someone just said they're blown away, and yeah, go for it, you guys.
H-Town in the house.
Houston represent.
All day. You guys got good brisket out there.
Of course we do. Welcome to Texas. Come through.
Salam to the family. Salam to the family.
Jazakallah. Will do.
Yeah, I just have to say, Brother Wasik, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. I just want to say that it's very difficult for brothers to really tune in to the sensitive side, if you will.
Right.
But you did that in a very, I don't know, I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but you did that in a very masculine way. And I think that real men, like you talk about in your poem, acknowledge that feeling, that sensitivity. And I think that that is what makes me always think about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how his character really emulated that character that you talk about in your poem. So thank you so much, Jazakallah khair, that touched my heart. And that was
Honor to be here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jazakallah khair, brother. And definitely in the comments, leave your socials. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in following your work. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Take care.
Okay, so we will now.
Kashmir, so we have actually a very, very young contestant, and I know it's getting late right now, so I was wondering if maybe we could have her on, inshallah. She's like only 10 years old, and her name is Maryam. What do you think?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, Maryam?
Yes.
She's right here. Okay, perfect. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi. Now just introduce yourself and then go for it, sister. The stage is yours.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Maryam Hassanein. I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm 10 years old, and I love anything that involves the pen and paper. So my poem is about COVID-19, and I will now start. Faces being covered, doors being closed, people hiding away, not a face on the road. 6 feet apart, people say, stay in your homes. I know it's for the best, but I don't think I can bear it anymore. I stay in my home with nothing to do. But is this quarantine all bad, or is there anything good too? I know it seems bad, people keep saying, but there is always a bright side to everything. And gradually, over time, I have begun to believe what I once called lies, because every disease has a cure, and very soon COVID-19 will leave us pure.
Jazakallah khair, sister. That was beautiful. Jazakallah khair. And it's very, very relevant to everything that's happening right now. We really appreciate you sharing your work, and your mum as well, advocating for you, and she really, really loves you, and she really wanted you to be a part of this. So we're happy that you were a part of this, and we're sorry it went on a little bit later than usual to you and our audience. Jazakallah khair again, sister. Tahani, Maryam, Kashmir, Maryam, anything?
Yeah, I just want to ask, how old is Maryam?
I'm 10.
You're 10 years old and you wrote that all by yourself? Wow, very talented.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tahani, I spoke over you.
Sorry, no, I spoke over you. I got so excited.
I
spelled her name the same way I spell my daughter's name, so I got very excited. I want to put her the winner. That's it. We're going home.
Jazakallah khair so much, Maryam. We're very proud of you as a 10-year-old. You're an inspiration to so many people who are younger and older than you. So Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, next on is Sister Amira. I hope I pronounced it. Amira. Okay, perfect. Amira Mustafa, please introduce yourself and go for it.
I am originally from Philadelphia, but I'm living in Tampa, Florida right now. I come from a very diverse background, one of which is Palestinian. So, alhamdulillah, the poem I'm going to read is about the people in Gaza, and honestly, anyone around the world who's suffering, and it's called Searching for Humanity. Bismillah. One day I woke up to crying. Running down his face were tears. My heart ached as I looked at him and knew I could not wash away his fears. His little body endured so much, yet his years remained so few. And the justice that he so deserves is long overdue. When will the world open up its eyes and see all this inhumanity? No, instead it looks down upon him with such insensitivity. You see, Palestine is and was the home buried deep within our hearts. The blood that flows through our soul, giving life to all our parts. Palestine is the birthplace of our sisters and our brothers, and the burial place of even more of our fathers and our mothers. So long Palestine has stood against all the fury and the guns. Yet time and time again, it's Israel that receives international's excessive funds. So let me take you on a journey. So let me take you by the hand. Then maybe through the eyes of another, you will begin to understand. Is apartheid too strong a word to make you see? Can I believe that you will try to see things from a different point of view? The year was 1948, when so many lost their lives, when the bombs that fell upon them were like a swarm of fireflies. Some who retell say it was as if the stars were falling from the skies, and still at night they awake to hearing all those heart-wrenching cries. Dar Yassin was but one of the many cities massacred that year. Before nightfall, over 250 people systematically murdered as the land was washed with children's tears. The death toll has been so vast that through my breath it's hard to speak. And it's sad that in 2020, still has not yet reached its peak. Now don't even get me started on Hafrada, the segregation wall that rises as a prison over 8 meters tall. In comparison, it makes the Berlin Wall look like nothing but a joke, dividing people from their land, dividing them from their common folk. So why are so many people misguided? Or has the whole world just gone blind? Is it because they think their own kind? Well, we are all brothers and sisters in the fight for the rights of those who cannot speak out. So I'll leave you with just one last thing, the most important thing without a doubt, that the greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance itself. It's the illusion of knowledge, the misconceptions of one's true self.
Jazakallah khair so much, Amira. That was phenomenal. I can see how close that was to your heart. You know, you had a lot of emotion when you were reciting, and that's something that brings a lot of beauty to the poetry. So thank you so much for sharing. And you mentioned that you were from Philadelphia. I'm actually based in Philly. Whereabouts are you from?
Northeast.
Oh, okay, the Northeast. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. Actually, Jessica the Pen is also from Philly, but we're going to try and get her back on, inshallah, a little bit later. She had some technical issues, but Jazakallah khair. And again, write your information, your social media, all of that in the comments so people can follow your work. And have a blessed evening. Stay with us as we announce the winners. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Beautiful piece.
Yes, it was very beautiful. Now, I actually have a personal love for Palestine. My husband is from Palestine, so he's one of Sister Tahani. I don't know exactly which part of Palestine it is. He's going to kill me, but it's a very beautiful part. And he definitely advocates a lot for, you know, the cause right now. And he's very near the West Bank, near Gaza. So I've noticed we've had a lot of poetry which is speaking about the issue in Palestine, which is a very underspoken about issue. I remember when the coronavirus hit the whole world, there was a powerful picture which was released where there was a whole room, not even a whole room. I think a room is an understatement, but there was almost like 1,000 people. One case in but then unfortunately afterwards cases did start arising. But it just shows the power of unity, and they were making dua for the world. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free the people of Palestine and all of those who are suffering around the world. We're gonna get before we get into all of that. Did anyone share anything before we ask the next person to come up?
We're okay. We're good. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So next we will have Sister Sukaina. Is Sister Sukaina here? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Sukaina, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, thank you. Where are my manners, right? Don't think I've asked anyone how they are. We were asking off stage, so it's okay. Alhamdulillah. Please introduce yourself and the stage is yours.
Okay, so can you hear me all right? Yes. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sukaina. I am a second-year college student from Dallas, Texas, and I am a mental health advocate. And I want to promote a message from my own life about how important it is that we show kindness to ourselves and to those whom we love today, every day, and for the rest of our days, inshallah, and especially in these difficult times. So, inshallah, I'm going to begin now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before our arrival into this world, every single soul was gathered and asked to testify, "Surely you are our Lord." It was the original covenant with the Most Divine. He sent the Quran to promise to those seeking peace, "Inna ma'al usri yusra." Verily, with hardship comes ease. And that is why everybody is worthy of love, friendship, and to feel happy. However, I know for a fact that those blessings certainly do not apply to me. Those nights when I'm hurting, my past haunting me, my future terrifying me, I often find myself begging Allah, "Can you please let me know, why did you invent me?" These nights are so eerie that I'm able to hear my arrhythmic lub-dubs beneath my punctured lungs, caused by the shards of my broken heart piercing right through me. Your concerned stares can only tell me, "Well, I know this girl. She smiles so much. I'm sure she's happy. Everybody's depressed these days. This poem is probably just about her story." I really don't mean to bum everyone out. I just want to share what happened one day in psychology. In class, I filled out a survey. They asked about me, wanted to know who I was and what interested me. Didn't care too much, and well, I made a mistake and I answered honestly. Days later, ding, came an email, said it was an emergency, said Miss Stein needed to see me. I sat in her office in her waiting room freaking out. Maybe it's because I turned in my quiz too quickly. Soon came a middle-aged lady. Her kindest smile, her voice was sweet. We both sat down in our seats. "Thank you for coming in, Sukaina. I have learned you want to kill yourself. You need to call immediately the Center for Mental Health." In this moment, it seemed as if the world had stopped spinning, hurling me into orbit. I felt dizzy, my heart sang, just like the night sky. My mind went into its dark place, barely grasping onto reality. I thought, this was it, huh? Somebody had finally figured out I was crazy. My voice became a shaky quiver, similar to right now. I said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry. You just caught me off guard. Nobody has ever said any of my thoughts out loud." "Sukaina, when do you plan on doing it? Have you attempted before? How do you plan on doing it? Please tell me if there's more." I'm giving myself 4 years, yes, and I'm not sure. I haven't completely thought it through. All I know is that it's something I intend to do. Sukaina, I think it's been a long time since you realized these thoughts aren't healthy and they shouldn't be romanticized. But Miss Stein, as I began to cry, my parents, they love me. I wouldn't know what to do if they found out I'm really just a shell of what used to be their little Suki. They don't know my past and they can't know it now. My parents, they sent me to school to learn. I can't cause them any burden. I can't have them worried with concern. Sukaina, be patient. Tell me what's wrong. You are not alone. I fear my soul has turned to stone. With each tear fell a sickening regret. Struggling for air, I counted my good deeds, realizing I barely had anything left. 3 hours went by. As Miss Stein listened to me cry, she indicated trauma, depression, and stress. Basically, we came to the realization that my life was a mess. She so kindly explained that it will take time for my hurt to heal. She said that when I'm ready, I will visit every week and we'll discuss what I feel. And in this moment, I realized that my Rob hadn't completely given up on me, as I thought funny how my name literally means tranquility. For the first time in a long time, I finally felt at peace. To my dear brothers and sisters, please consider this as an intervention. It is finally my time to talk about suicide prevention. I'm standing here before you having gone through 8 years of my mind tormenting me, and for the first time, I'm happy. I'm so shy and wouldn't normally dare go on stage, But I am tired of all the well-meaning suggestions of just pray more, read more Quran, make dua, and you'll be okay. You do not have to suffer in silence. The Prophet, peace be upon him, even said, take advantage of your health before your illness. I only stand here today because I am tired, and I condemn the stigma, and I condemn the shame, and I understand your worry, and I understand your pain. It has been 1 year since my meeting with Miss Stein, and it is a conversation that will never ever leave my mind, and that is why when I went home over the break, I hugged my parents and I made them cry. I sat down on the sofa and said with all the courage I had mustered in me, Ammi and Abu, I want you to know I am going to therapy. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Where do I begin? SubhanAllah, you blew me away, Sakina. I remember reading the piece when you submitted, and I just thought we needed someone to speak about this because mental health has such a stigma in our community. And I think that people are only now beginning to understand and appreciate it, you know? So may Allah reward you for shedding light on that and for sharing your own personal experiences. It takes a lot of courage. And keep shining, keep sharing that message. May Allah reward you.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
I mean, Jazakallah khair for sharing, sister. That was a deeply beautiful, personal poem. Sister Tahani, I'm sorry again.
No,
You were going to say something.
I think I have a delay on my side, so I jump in. It's okay. It's a phenomenal topic for you to pick. It's something that's very touching and it's very relevant. Subhanallah, we have a I don't want to call it an epidemic, but it is a situation where there are a lot of young people that don't have vices to express what they're going through, the challenges of the test and the trials and tribulations Allah puts in front of us and how we go about taking them on. But it's very important for us. And there's such a stigma behind mental health in the Islamic and Middle Eastern, South Asian communities. We don't necessarily think it's something. And you said it in your poem, pray more, read more. And I've had many young people come to me and confide in me and ask me what to do. And always, subhanAllah, it is the first thing that comes to your mind. Read more, pray more. Allah's always there because that's the purest of our hearts. And it is a stigma. And I'm very, very proud of you that you are going into a field that, mashallah, it is a very heavy thing to carry. But inshallah, you'll help a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, Jazakallah khair, sister, for sharing. So our final poet is, we're going to ask Sister Gifted to come back, and hopefully issues, we're going to try one last time and then we are going to give the results. Okay, so please be patient with us. We are almost there. We're going to announce the winner soon, inshallah, and then we're going to share something very beautiful with you, God willing. So here we go. Sister, it's your stage. Please introduce yourself again and go for it. Okay, so I can't hear any sound, sister. Do you want to maybe try one more time? I'm not sure. Is it just me? Is it my audio? Anyone else here can't hear anything? I'm going to put myself on mute, okay? Okay, so sister, I can't hear you right now, but can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? Okay, perfect. So how about you have my phone number? Brother made a suggestion, Brother Ala, Jazakallah khair, he made a quick suggestion. If you can give me a phone call and then I can put you on loudspeaker and then you'll be able to perform, inshallah. So you'll be hearing it from my phone here and we'll try that. We'll try that, inshallah. Is that okay, sister? So I'm going to give you a call right now, okay? Okay, perfect. So you can switch this off. Actually you can stay on because we'll be able to see you and then we'll hear you at the same time. So we're gonna have to get a little bit innovative over here. Okay, here we go. Bismillah, Bismillah. Okay, I'm calling you right now. I'm putting you on loudspeaker.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, y'all.
Wa alaikum assalam.
This is crazy.
I know, but qadar Allah ma sha fa'ala.
It was just working fine. Like I seen the beginning of the show. I have no idea what's going on, but yeah, I don't think I can see y'all at the same time. But assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We decided to still do this.
Yes.
I am so honored to be with you here tonight. So thank you so much for still making a way for us to continue to have the show. Well, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. I hope everyone is safe, and I make dua for all the families out there in this climate that we're in right now.
Amen.
So my name is Shakita, gifted a pen. My
Sister?
name is Shakita, gifted a pen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you beautifully, actually. Sister, could you possibly put your camera on as well so we can also see you at the same time?
Right. Well, see, the thing is.
Oh, you're using your phone. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we have the sound. Alhamdulillah. Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Go for it, sister. Go for it.
Okay. All right. So, my name is Shakita Gifted Pen Ellison. I believe everyone heard that earlier, and I am a poet and an author and a spoken word artist. We the people. Go back to your country gladly. The beginning of civilization, Africa, a continent where great men, women, and children lived. They were royalty. Your forefathers stole our truth, writing a violent story, abducted from our history. In the absence of blue hair and blue eyes, you have no privilege. Legislated laws pretend to protect, yet they've done nothing but destroy the very fabric of our societies. No social cohesion, divide and conquer, manipulate our children to believe in your dumbed down democracies. How can we invest in an educational system that teaches the Darwin theory? Make us hate ourselves and love their wealth easy. Stage freedom, smoke gray skies, aftermath of egotistical driven wars. It's January 1st, 1802. Sir, believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to no other one for his faith or his worship. Sincerely, Thomas Jefferson. Separation of church from state. Burma, crimes against humanity. Bosnia, 8,000 Muslim men and boys slaughtered and tortured. Gaza, under the We Want to Live banner. Journalists and activists abducted and crucified. Freedom of speech, whoa. Freedom of religion, who? First Amendment denied. Oppressive regimes. Somalia, Egypt, Libya, Mali, millions displaced. Forced evictions, genocide, sexual violence, and lack of water supplies. Islamic extremes. Show me in the Quran one Halimatun where Allah says, look down upon your fellow man. Show me in one Ahadith where Nabi Muhammad ibn Abdullah practices Farisa Islam. None of you truly believes until he loves for his brother and sister what he loves for himself. Imam Nawawi. Are we that self-absorbed that all we can think about is securing the bag while babies soak in blood pool baths? What are we becoming? Trump, the sixth president elected by popular vote. Popularity always outweighs character. And no, Hillary should not have won. But I'm saying if you are a Muslim and you voted for Trump, you are an Islamophobe. Let's get honest. I didn't come here to skate around the issues. Do I compartmentalize my Islam? I am an Islamophobe. We, the people, hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among them these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Compliments of your U.S. Constitution. Let's stop the blame game, shall we? Immigrants are not the problem. We are. Muslim, Ahlo, Muslim, Lab, Muslim, killing Muslims. Salafi, Dawa, disunited a once contented community. And yes, we do follow
Okay, looks like we lost Aisha for a moment there. Aisha, are you here? Tahani, am I all alone? Okay, looks like she's coming back in. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, Tahani, jazakallah khair. And do we have Aisha back? The problem is Aisha also has the audio for the poem, so.
Sure.
It was my fault. I had the connection issue here just now. She's going to go back 30 seconds and share it, inshallah. Okay, go for it, Sophia. Last part.
Now what's the solution? It's time for some action. We are losing our children. He, Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is anxious over you to be rightly guided, to repent to Allah, and to beg Him to pardon and forgive us your sins, in order that you may enter paradise and be saved from the punishment of the hellfire. For the believer, He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is full of pity, kind, and merciful. 9:128. I know it's hard sometimes. Jannah is expensive, so strive with everything that you have, like the beloved companions, and seek refuge in Allah from Allah. Allahu musta'an. Jazakallah khairan. Did you hear that?
Jazakallah khair, sister. So are you on the actual video call as well? On the, you can hear us on the.
Let's see. Yes, I can hear you, but I think it, once you call me, it knocked the
video, the actual camera.
Yeah, video.
Okay, perfect.
You want me
Jazakallah
to hang up and call back and go in the other one?
Okay, you can actually, Jazakallah khair, sister, so much. Now we're gonna do the results for everybody, and then we're gonna let you know feedback and everything. You can see us on the YouTube video, inshallah. Jazakallah khair for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sister.
Wa alaikum wa rahmatullah. Everybody have a good night, inshallah.
Good night.
Jazakallah khair.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We got through all of the poets. Kashmir, Tahani, any final words for sister? And then we're gonna move on to the next part, the final part of the night, right?
I just want to say very quickly, mashallah, tabarakallah, it's been an amazing evening. Thank you so much for having me as this judge. I did the best that I could by the will of Allah, and my 15 years in slam poetry. So inshallah, everybody's happy with the results. But in the end, this is a competition between like-minded individuals, and the biggest competition is the competition of the dunya and getting into the best of the akhirah and pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair for sharing that, Tahani, and I completely agree. It was our honor having you here on this platform, and just for sharing your words of wisdom. Yeah, no, and so I guess we can let Tahani announce the results. Should we do that way?
You want to say what your surprise is, and then I go, or whatever you want?
Yeah, we'll do that, because I feel like our poets are in anticipation, so hopefully they can get a little bit of they can be alleviated from that anticipation, and and I think that we'll just close at the very ending if anyone wants to stay, inshallah, for the surprise.
Okay, so
let's do, let me get the trophies. Okay, so let's do third place.
Sit down. Okay. 1 second. Miriam showed up. Sit
down.
Woke up. Sit down. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's start with third place.
Okay, so please excuse me for not pronouncing certain names correctly, but basically, so we're gonna have, mashallah, we have for third place we have Zach, our Houston brother.
Brother Wasik. Okay, Mabruk. Excellent job, Brother Wasik. You got third place. And again, this is not about ranking order. In fact, it's so difficult. I am just really happy that I'm not doing Tahani's job and judging. So, Brother Wasik, we'll be sending your trophy in a sterilized package, inshallah. So, well done. We're very proud of you. May Allah reward you for sharing your words, and keep sharing them. I'm sure people are benefiting from your wisdom. Okay, so let's do second place.
Done.
Yes. Second place is perfect. Exactly. Sister, our second sister has number. She was the
Excellent. So, Sister Hal, this is for you. Second place again. We'll be sending this out to you. Inshallah, well done. We're very proud of you, and keep shining. Okay,
Yeah.
and let's do.
And our first place. And for our brother, who's doing very important work, mashallah, teaching the young ones, Brother Maj.
Brother Maj, okay, this is you first place, mashallah. Jazakallah so much for contributing. We're proud of all of our winners, and we actually have some medals here from all.
Yes, we have some honorable mentions. It was very good. It was so Miriam is, you know, it's just Sister Amira, it was Brother Pablo. You know, there's so many Brother Dean, Dean, Rhyme, and Rhythm, right? I forgot the last one.
Dean, Rhyme, and Life.
And Life. MashaAllah, I thank you for staying up. I mean, these are just you guys, and Miriam, of course, our 10-year-old. You know, you guys. She's very wise beyond her years. So, mashallah, everyone did a fabulous job. There are no, you know, we don't use the L word in slam poetry. There are no losers. Everyone who touches the mic and has the ability to share the story, you are a winner. Allah has given you the ability to do so. So to continue to do so, and inshallah, you know, this reaches the people it needs to be heard.
I agree. I can hear Miriam in the background. Jazakallah khair, Tahani. You did a very difficult job, and you're right. There are no losers at all in slam poetry. I was touched by every single one of the poems, and I'm just so honored that people use this as a platform to share their work and to share their life with people and other viewers who are listening. So I think we lost Aisha again. Have we lost Aisha again? Okay, so we're gonna move on now, inshallah, and we're gonna go. Oh, you're back. We're going to move into our little surprise. Now we're going to close the evening with a little poem that my sister and I compiled together. Aisha, I'm gonna let you introduce this piece. So go ahead.
First and foremost, I want to apologize to everybody for the technical issues, for you know, running over time just a little bit. We pray that you can be patient with us. We know we've reached the very end now, so just hang in there just a few more minutes, and this is basically the surprise that we've been really excited about. So the Strangers organization is, like I said, an organization of a collective, you know, work of poets from around the world, Muslim poets around the world, where we try and advocate for certain things which are happening that we feel very strongly about. Now, one of them things is what Sister Hala actually mentioned, and it's the issue in China right now with the Uyghur Muslims. So for the last 3 months or so, maybe 2 or 3 months, we've been running a campaign through Instagram where we've been trying to get poets together, where we've been trying to get people to submit their lines, their works, and then we wanted to compile a letter to the Chinese embassy. We will be working together with an organization called Save Uyghur, where we got most of our information from. And alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, all praise to God, we have the final collection of work. This is not just mine and Kashmir's work. This is a collection of many poets, and we will write their names down, inshallah, as honorable mentions afterwards. But the point of the poem was that it's not from any individual person, it's from the Muslim. And just to go back with one final thing before I go into the actual poem, a letter was written from I don't know who it was exactly, but it was written and 22 countries signed it. And they, in Huffington Post, they actually said that the Muslims didn't say anything about the situation in China with the Uyghur Muslims. Now, just a quick background, the Uyghur Muslims are a group of Muslims who are right now being, they're going through an ethnic cleansing in China. They are in something called re-education camps. They are being abused in many ways. Their identity is being wiped. Hopefully this letter will explain more.
Okay. Oh, Aisha, you there? I think you're freezing. Okay, Aisha has frozen, so I am gonna just go straight into the poem, inshallah, until she gets back. So I will be doing the first half, and it is in the format of a letter. So this is an open letter to the Chinese embassy. I hope that you enjoy, and I hope that you are able to reflect on the kinds of things that we talk about. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Fact. The Chinese government, or the CCP, has created a militarized police state with an estimated 1.5 million people or more in ethnic concentration camps. At first, you denied this on all counts. Then, you said it was voluntary vocational training and boarding school. Now, you're saying that they are re-education centers for people who may not have committed any crimes, but who are deemed at risk by the government. Dear Chinese Embassy, would you kill a man, a woman, a generation, because they say they believe in one God? I speak in many voices, but all are one. China has beauty, but with beauty is pain, and with pain there is injustice. You see, there is a smog above your country. Its smoke has penetrated the lungs of many, whereby the innocent have been quarantined behind cages with bars before COVID-19 had ever been heard of. Who would have ever thought that the guilty would arrest the innocent? This sickness has spread. It has spread in the thick blanket of silence of the world, which stood by and watched its birth, its death, its rebirth, and its karma. It has expanded outwardly to all that have breathed your words and allowed you to try to rewrite the words of God to fit your values. It has constricted the universal truth of justice, for we have been guilty too. We, the world, have been distracted, and in our distraction we can no longer breathe. We are fighting for survival. I speak not of a novel virus that takes the wise, but a disease which has spread through the whole of the body of many nations, of which the hand did not attend to the aching limbs. A part of us is suffering. Our entire body is hurting. We have been bleeding for years, and the China that I see now is not the China that was. The China that I see now off Instagram accounts and tweets, because the news is too afraid to report on your misdeeds, is a nation whose government has succumbed to a disease far worse than the coronavirus. We are only as safe as the most oppressed in society. So a baby born is torn from the mother's breast and placed in re-education camps, where they will be taught to recite the merits of this diseased government like a mantra. We bleed. Through concentration camps, you exploit the re-education. Here is the peace you constantly proclaim. Our hearts are in pieces, our mouths detained. We face economic advantages and advances that starve and maim, educational opportunities that divide and tame, ethnic unity to prevent unification, colorful dances, cruelty, twisted, so each step is beautiful agony in a colonial standard of beauty, and each breath is the slow erasure of our identity. Never again, they said, after the Holocaust. Is genocide okay if our screams have been silenced? I wonder if you borrowed Hitler's blueprint. I am trying to say that we have seen the camps, we have seen the forced labor, we have seen the bans on the woman's veil over her head, bans on the places of worship, bans on our names, our identity, our choice. You see, you claim you are stopping terrorism, but the cries of 1,000 lies are heard, yet the silence of truth is prolonged. Trying to stop terrorism by creating extremism. Claiming that you are re-educating the already educated, are you making assumptions based on terrorists that claim to be Muslim? A young girl is forced into marriage with a Han Chinese man. You are performing an ethnic cleansing of the Uyghurs, and you are in the process also erasing the Chinese identity. You have failed your country. And when I think of China now, I will not see that image of jade mountains and cherry blossom trees. The Great Wall is no longer your trademark. The death camps are. We are the brothers and sisters of the Muslims in your camps. We are the brothers and sisters of the women whose beds you send your soldiers to sleep in, of the forced marriages to ethnically cleanse a race of followers of a creed that will always prevail. You have tried to make us slaves so you can ban me, ridicule me, exile me, kill me, strip me of everything but my dignity. Afraid to reveal our identity, for its revelation will only bring misery. Oh no, you cannot have that. Allah is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of all affairs. Where is your morality? What did they do to deserve this? Just do it logos hanging in factory lines above our heads like nooses. Trying to create apples that don't fall too far from your trees, but we see Chinese embassy, we see now your greatest fear is not the slaves in shackles that you compounded behind your cages. It is the slave of the mind. And this is the reason why you have tried to take ours. Young or old, our freedom is in jail. With millions, yet peace prevails. Religion is our choice, and your re-education has pushed us to our belief in God. Now we are certain of Him. In your polluted war, we have seen beyond the shadows you tried to catch our hearts with, and the night has 1,000 eyes, and we, one nation, can finally see the daylight through one. We do not need your prayer mats to bow our heads down to the ground, to God. We do not need the written words of God to reiterate its miraculous daily upon our tongue. We have it in our hearts, and we draw it on the walls of our cells, cells which are contained within our bodies, enclosed to task is the obligation of our love for Him. We are free. Our souls are free. We do not need names to know who you are, because we are and we will always be, and we speak for the part of our body which hurts most, because this is what it means to be Muslim. It is to feel the pain of one part, to intercede and speak up, if only with our hearts. And I can tell you that these brothers and sisters protest you from the very depths of their beating hearts, hearts which you have sold to gain money, but found that they cannot be sold, because we have found richness elsewhere. We know, and God knows even more. So we ask you, as the voices of many, to free our brothers and sisters. Free my brethren. Yours sincerely, the entire Muslim Ummah. Thank you. So that concludes this poem, and that concludes also this event. Oh, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back.
Jazakallah khair wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair for sharing, Kashmir. And we had a conversation before as well, and I told you why I didn't want to, but alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed it even better. You were saying, and carry on, you were just closing.
Yeah, I was just closing, and I was just saying that also this poem, initially we were supposed to divide it in two and recite it, but due to connection issues, it didn't work out that way. But Qadarullah ma sha'a fa'ala. I don't want to keep anyone any longer. It's already 10:30. But I want to thank everyone here. I want to thank primarily for hosting us on their platform. Every single year when we host this, it's just an amazing success. And I can say, alhamdulillah, from the bottom of my heart, I think this was phenomenally successful. So Jazakallah khair. I want to say a special Jazakallah khair to Hani for joining us, for doing the very, very difficult job of judging. It can never be easy.
Thank you so much.
May Allah reward you, and you know, for taking the time out. You're also a mother, so you know, I know it's difficult juggling duties. So may Allah reward you for that. And yeah, do you have any closing remarks, Aisha?
I just wanted to say that alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. May Allah bless all of the viewers for attending. I pray that we all benefited an event without our poets. Now, saying that as well, I'm not sure if you can see me. Okay, you could see me now. No further ado, you can find The Strangers on Instagram. Our website is in the works, inshallah. So please do definitely follow up with more information about the Uyghur campaign, which is a current campaign that we're doing. We hope you enjoyed the letter, the final compilation. A lot of heart went into it from our poets, and thank you again to everyone. And of course, Sister Tahani, you did an amazing job. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Ikna. Of course, Ikna.
And lastly, I just want to say the greatest thank you to all of our poets for contributing their pieces. Each one was mind-blowing and touched my heart. And I'm sincerely saying that as someone who's been to a lot of poetry slams and had a lot of poetry over the years, as Tahani and as Aisha can both attest to, we had an amazing level of talent tonight. So may Allah reward you all. And yeah, I'm going to close it right there. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.